Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have Vince on a Neo Gristlebrand. I'm assuming this is going to be some type of Neoform brew that can combo off very quickly versus Jovan on Death and Taxes. Now, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into the weeds in case that's not what this Neo moniker means, but that would be pretty wild. Allosaurus Shepherd, or Allosaurus Rider? Whatever the 7 casting cost one is, that's free. You got to exile some green cards, and you can Neoform to get Gristlebrand, and then you can draw a ton of cards, use the green shoal to gain a ton of life, and just draw through your whole deck. I mean, that'd be wild if that's what we're going to see here. It is a deck that people were... Oh, there's Chancellor of the Annex. Or Chancellor of the Tangle. Wow. Struggling here. Yeah, it is. There's the Dino Boy. 2 green, and now, what is that? Eldritch Evolution, I think is the name of that one. And believe it or not, this is a deck that people thought was going to just be absolutely dominant when the new Mulligan rule was announced. People were just crying like the sky was falling. As it turns out, not really even a player. But Legacy is wild, and you can make just about anything work. He's going to draw 14 cards, and if the deck doesn't get there from here, it is a testament to just how crazy it is of a deck that even with 14 cards, it may not be enough. But, I mean, it is pretty likely to be able to succeed from here. Oh, no, he's got a Ponder? That's not good. Really just needs to gain some life back. This is the green shoal. This is the most likely scenario here. Might have Children of Corliss. I really don't know what this list looks like. Ponder. Shuffles, draws a card. Is he going to have to go to discard here? What do we have? Alright, so he's got a land drop. That makes sense. After drawing that many cards, you'd expect to see at least a land drop. Wow, he is counting out his 7. Now he has a 7/7 Gristlebrand, but it's against probably the worst deck that you could have that against. Death and Taxes has probably at least 10% of the deck can answer this turn 1 Gristlebrand. We could see a Swords to Plowshares, we'd see a Caracas, and a white border card there. Pact of Negation is going to counter the swords. We'll see how Vince pays the 5. No, he just drew his card. He's super dead. What did I miss? Pact of Negation was cast on the Swords to Plowshares. Let me know what I missed. I guess I don't think I did. I think this game's over. That looked like a Pact of Negation. Now we have a Summoner's Pact. Grabbing Elvish Spirit Guide. I guess I pause here and take a look in case I made an error in my double speed assessment. No, that just... I can't see any way that I was wrong on that. That just looked like a Pact of Negation. No card went on top of it in the graveyard. That is part of the reason why graveyard order matters, in case there was some type of thing. We've got a shoal gaining some life, but I don't know if these players are going to catch this. But Vince not actually winning this game. We'll see if the Magic Gods balance this out for Jovan. Manamorphose draws a card. And Laboratory Maniac. And then Vince drawing the remainder. So, yeah, that is something. Death and Taxes can absolutely answer a Griselbrand if left out on the board without a huge advantage. I mean, that's just the reality of it. They've got Swords to Plowshares, they've got Caracas, they have Path to Exile out of the sideboard. There's all sorts of other ways of preventing it from entering the battlefield, talking about things like Containment Priests. Now, mercifully, Skyclave Apparition, one of the best new additions to the deck, doesn't handle him. Skyclave does, however, answer Animate Dead and Dance of the Dead for the Reanimator strategies. So Death and Taxes, surprisingly enough, one of the decks that's least afraid of Griselbrand, despite not having much in the way of counters. Though we did see some Death and Taxes recently on the channel packing Mindbreak Trap, a card that can be just absolutely blindsiding. You really don't expect counter spells from Death and Taxes. It is a card that exists in the metagame, in the environment, but you can't really play around everything, and a deck that is routinely looking to tap out for a Thalia on turn 2 doesn't make the best use of Mindbreak Trap, but it certainly shores up one of the key weaknesses is, the deck can't really do too much turn 1, or really up until it's able to cast or get into play either Thalia or, I guess Stoneforge Mystic in some matchups is meaningful enough that that's super relevant. But Thalia really does make all of the other decks play with much worse cards. Brainstorm at 2 mana is not really even playable. At 1 mana, it's one of the best Magic cards ever printed. And Vince mulling down. Magic Gods perhaps punishing him for that just force of, or pact of negation with no upkeep paying. The card's good, but not that good. Need some type of Angel's Grace or something to not lose. It looks like he's seriously considering this one. New layout in the store, getting ready to have in-store play as of this evening. Well, by the time this airs, it'll be a little while ago. Weekly play has returned, Wednesdays and Fridays in-store. We'll continue to record these online matches as well. So I will have a crazy amount of coverage to do. Caracas coming out. Will potentially interfere with this Griselbrand situation. Yeah, Vince needs a lot to come together with this deck. He already had a Tropical Island Wastelanded. Now we have Thalia, making it even more difficult. Now the fast mana in the deck is somewhat resilient against Thalia. At least the Elvish Spirit Guide and Simian Spirit Guides aren't taxed in the same way as a Dark Ritual or Cabal Ritual would be. The Lotus Petal becomes pretty inefficient. Really doesn't do anything except ramp for future turns. And now a Rishadan Port getting added into the mix during the upkeep, tapping down Tropical Island. I'm going to mark the win for Vince, even though that wasn't really a proper win. Missing that trigger. Jovan likely to walk away with this one. He's already got the Thalia down. I'm not sure what that other card is. We'll see based off of whether or not it's attacking. Let's try and sleuth together. Oh, is that a... It might be a Mother of Runes that's just attacking anyways. I didn't actually catch the mana cost on that. But I think it actually is a Mother of Runes. So Vince's life total under assault. He needs a lot to come together here. Port tying up his one land. And Thalia taxing all of his spells. All of his non-creature spells. He can get that Allosaurus Rider out. Then he's going to need 3 or 4 mana to transmute it into a Gristlebrand. The beatings continue. Yeah, it is a mom. And it looks like perhaps Stoneforge Mystic appearing off camera. It's really, yeah, it's a 2-mana play, so I'm going to go with Stoneforge Mystic. Recruiter of the Guard and Stoneforge both allow for tutoring in the deck. Flicker Wisp allows for double duty, swapping the Flicker ability there, essentially for a whole nother ETB. Just a lot of use of Flicker Wisp. Resetting your mana, you know, being able to keep like a Karakas open, and looks like Vince is just at this point gaining some life just to stay alive, but that's not a good sign. Delaying the inevitable. Surgical Extraction. And yeah, I don't even know if I do that if I'm Jovan, but a little bit of driving the nail into the coffin for that game does give Vince a heads up that Surgical may be part of the mix in Game 3, but there's not a whole lot you can do to steer clear of hate with a deck like this. I mean, you're talking about a real commitment for cards in your hand just to make it happen. In a perfect world where your opponent doesn't have counter magic or ways of answering anything, it's a big ask. It's a big ask otherwise. I'm still just surprised that the Pact of Negation happened on that first game. I mean, it was a weird one because Vince fumbled after drawing 14 cards, but still, that is part of it. Jovan is kind of playing on a free roll here for Vince. Vince shouldn't have any chance to win. This should be over 2-0. But we'll see what we can do for Game 3, if the gods will deal justice or if Vince is going to find a way to win this one before Jovan can really do anything about it. Alright, so skipping ahead through all of that mulling, looks like Vince had to take 3 mulligans. And he's got a Nature's Claim for a Grafdigger's Cage. Powerful sideboard card. We might see Containment Priest as well. Though Aether Vial, still a card that you're happy to have in the deck, so there's a little bit of dyssynergy with some of the hate there. We've got a land grant showing Summoner's Pact and Neoform. And a green card. Looks, oh, a Containment Priest does in fact get flashed in. Calling it. I am not sure what that spell was, but Wasteland took out Tropical Island anyways, and Containment Priest starts the beatings, and Vince may be just looking at a 10-turn beatdown of Containment Priest, and he actually recognizes that he has no outs to the creature. Disenchant effects are all fine and good, but it's not going to get a body off the board, and mercifully, the Magic Gods smile upon Jovan and get him that win despite that controversial Game 1. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.